Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Okay, I hit the button. We're gonna get started right away. We don't want any lagging behind. We got places to go and things to do and people to see. And tonight, and I'm supposed to introduce everybody like right away.
Oh yeah, right. I listened to part of that podcast. They're no better. Yeah, they're running their podcast all screwed up too.
What podcast are you talking about?
Okay, you'll have to tell us.
Well, it's going well so far, isn't it? We sound really professional now. We sound really professional.
Well, first of all, your big mistake was you asked me to be on it.
Yeah, well, and you didn't respond. You just said, "I'll let you know."
Well, I let you know. I told you I would let you know after the podcast was over if I was available, depending on how it goes.
Okay. So how do you feel?
Edit me out.
How do you feel like it's going so far?
Oh, swimmingly.
Yeah, who are we and what podcast is this?
This is ViewerPosts Vacation Cruise number 22.
Ah, okay.
And tonight we are joined by we'll go in order of we have like four corners of the globe tonight. We have Bruce Bruce S. Kelly, superfan number 1. Hey, can we tell them what you're about to do as we?
Oh yeah, because it's going to come out after a long time from now, probably, right?
Right, even after
next
the nuclear
next week,
even after the nuclear attack.
Yeah, even after I accidentally pushed the button on the cruise missile.
So your daughter-in-law is in the Navy,
right?
And you've been invited to be on the ship. Are you taking command of the ship, or you're just going to be on the ship?
Well, you know how I'm the president of every club within 200 miles.
Yeah. So you'll be.
And they made a movie called Kane Mutiny, so it might be the Kelly Mutiny.
Aha! So you're going to be underway?
Yeah. I fly into Hawaii tomorrow,
Okay.
and I spend some time with relatives there, and then Wednesday, I go down to the naval base, and my daughter-in-law is going to meet me, I believe, at the gate, and I get escorted to the ship and go on for anywhere from 5 to 6 days.
Okay, unless there's an emergency, and then it could be 6 months.
Yeah. Why can't I stop thinking that this story ends with this sentence? And then I was escorted off the ship.
So is your daughter-in-law from Hawaii? How do you have family in Hawaii?
No, she is from San Diego. That's where she's stationed.
Okay.
And the ship was on duty station in the South China Sea for a while, and then it got relieved. And so I guess the fleet or whatever, the ships that have been relieved are coming back, and they come into Hawaii. And typically what they do is when they're coming back, they get family members are allowed to ride along in what they call the Tiger Cruise. So they go from Honolulu to San Diego, and they put on, they put demonstrations on and everything. And
well, that's cool. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I know.
Really
Isn't it cool? What do they call it? A Tiger Cruise?
Tiger Cruise. I don't know why they call it a Tiger Cruise. It's just the family. And my son is really jealous because he can't go because they will not allow spouses on the Tiger Cruise because of the drama.
Oh, really?
Yes, and either one of the spouses is pregnant, and the other spouse is wondering when I've been gone for 8 months now. Why? Or they've broken up, or they're going to break up, or whatever. The drama's there, so they don't allow spouses to take the Tiger Cruise. So it's always some member of the family, and
it's crazy.
None of her family wanted to go, so my son said, "Why don't you go?" And I said, "Okay."
Yeah. How could you not want to go?
It's going to be interesting. There, Joe. I was talking to Joe yesterday, and he said there's a possibility they may let you shoot some sort of a gun.
Wow.
and they possibly a helicopter ride. It depends on if they have they should have a helicopter on station in the on the ship.
What class of
so
ship is this?
It's a guided missile destroyer.
Okay.
It's an Arleigh Burke class destroyer.
That's it. That's the Arleigh Burke.
I'm looking right at the page.
What's really neat is I'm originally from Pennsylvania, outside of Coatesville, and my father worked for Luke and Steel, and I worked 2 years for Luke and Steel. And the steel that's in most of the naval ships, some of the steel, most of the steel, it depends on where they're putting the steel. It comes from Lukens. Lukens was one of the widest plate builder of plate steel and to government specs, and it was kind of neat that I'll be sailing on a ship that has the steel that not necessarily I did, but it's there.
I just can't see this ending any way other than in tears for the U.S. Navy.
Oh, we'll see what happens. I'm going to take lots of pictures because I can't use my cell phone as a phone. I have to put it on airplane mode.
Right.
And then.
And what's the most amount of money you're allowed to wire somebody?
Well, it will be in international waters.
Yes, definitely. Gambling is legal, right? No, that's not true, because on a naval ship, it's just like being in the United States.
That's right. That's right. The thing I always thought was cool is a friend of mine he was not the second officer, but the next guy, like the third officer, whatever you call that guy, on a destroyer. And he always talked about, this was back in the 70s. He always talked about how they were trained in such a way that if there was some sort of catastrophic occurrence on the earth, and you might be the United States of America, so you were trained to conduct yourself in such a way that if this became the main part of the United States, you needed to be prepared for such things. Does that make any sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like, I just don't see this ending any way but bad for us.
Well, yeah, because then the hobby has actually died. I mean, come on. We won't have to worry about the NMRA or insurance anymore.
Exactly. The Bruce is super fan on a destroyer, and he might be able to shoot stuff.
Yeah, might be able to.
Or it might be in a helicopter. Yeah, if you get on the helicopter and the pilot turns to you and says, and you're about to do up your seatbelt, and he says, don't worry about that. We don't need you to worry about that.
No. I got word from Joe to make sure if I got in the helicopter to strap in.
Yeah, can you let me finish
Definitely
my thought?
in.
Can you let me?
Okay,
so that's why you're not going to That's why you're not going to. There's going to end up in tears. They're going to be trying to explain to you how to fire this thing or do whatever, and you're not. You're going to cut them off. My point.
Follow direction.
Yeah, my point was, if they don't ask you to strap in, get off the helicopter because you're not coming back.
Well, Joe was telling me a story yesterday about when he was in the Navy in 74 or whatever year it was, and he was talking about the fact that they would take the newbies up in a helicopter, and after a while, the sound of the props or the rotors would sort of put them to sleep, and then the pilot would talk to the guys to let them know that what's coming up, and the guy would slowly do sort of slow dips down just to get their stomachs real queasy, and then he would go straight for a while, and they would sort of settle back down again, and then he would turn around and just drop it, and create negative G, so that they would float, and obviously they would get sick, and everything was just floating around, and it was a laugh. So he told me, he said, whatever you do, if you get in the helicopter, pay attention, don't fall asleep, and make sure you're strapped in.
Why do I think at some point in the next week Lester Holt on NBC News is going to be?
Oh boy!
I just have a bad feeling about this.
What's this
tonight?
button do?
Tonight from the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
we take you live.
And here's an
To the
interesting.
USS Wayne Meyer
Yeah. Apparently.
and our beat field reporter Bruce Kelly. Bruce, how things going out there? They're going really good, guys.
Yeah. We're coming in for a land. Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna ask the pilot to auto rotate?
Yeah.
Oh, that's always I says I know this guy. Auto rotates helicopter.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
And the whole time we've been talking like this, I've been looking at a picture of a guy with a dime stuck to his forehead.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on with this. We've done so good.
Staring right into your soul.
Yeah, exactly. Kenny Broomfield on February the 3rd is at a train show in Hattiesburg, staring right into our. He's got that dime dead smack in the middle of his head. He does that beautifully. I was riding a streetcar today, and I did manage to take a picture with a dime. That was cool. Oh, look at this, Mike. The very next one, Joe Cummings. I said I'd do it and did it. I'm back. Look at that. Joe signed up. Well, we got so many people. I think the NMRA is going to start giving us a cut or something. Joe signed up. Mike, you signed up. Did you get your card yet?
No, that'd probably be a month yet. I haven't even got my thing saying my deal fully processed.
Yeah, well,
they probably heard me on the podcast and said,
yeah, they're going to bring that one up to the board of directors. That's what they're doing. That's kind of we've had 2 pictures where people are staring us down. Joe, stop doing that. Oh, look at this. Bruce Wilson is testing for Tom Jacobs. That's when it wasn't working. Everybody was going into a panic about the visitor post wasn't working, and I'm thinking, perfect. Now I can catch up. Bruce kept sending me messages. What do we do about viewer posts? And I just kept ignoring them. I'm thinking, great. Now maybe we'll be able to catch up. So that was on February 4th. So when's the next one? Oh, right away. Tom Jacobs was still able to post anyway. Shameless plug HO plug new HO. I didn't introduce the other 2 people. We got off track.
Wow.
"Oh,
We'll finish this one, then we'll do it. Shameless plug. New HO scale decal set available at reddingmodelers.com. Redding
You know what I
Modeler.
noticed in this photo
What's that?
is red drop right underneath the car they took the picture of.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
so
It's a good job soldering there, Tom.
Yeah. A wire drop right there, Tom. Come on.
You know, this car was just in Model Railroad News, I believe.
That very car?
I think it is. I think it's that car
63
with those
Ford
decals.
decals. Yeah, they're decals.
That's halfway between decal and
that's
decal.
good. That's a good
Decals.
halfway there, Chris."
Decal. That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, how come I can say decal but I can't say Redding? That's pretty weird.
You just did.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and this story just in: there's a destroyer in the Pacific Ocean.
You go back to
5
Bruce
miles.
Kelly. Bruce, how's it going? Wah, wah, wah. Oh, never mind that buzzing. I just accidentally hit a button.
Well, yeah, you know what? We're finally going to get that answer that I'm always wondering about. You know, the cruise ship where the story every 6 months is somebody fell off a cruise ship. We're finally going to find out how that's possible.
Oh, there's a difference between falling off and being pushed off.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe that's how it happens. All right, we didn't introduce Mr. Chris Atkins from Argyle, Texas. Argyle, Texas, home of the Argyle Fighting Sox. Go Sox.
Go Sox.
Go Sox. And Mr. Mike the Spoon Ostertag from Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Speaking of Wisconsin, I'm enjoying a nice Leinenkugels tonight. A Wisconsin product.
You are.
Yes.
You get your hands on that.
Oh, they sell Leinenkugels down here all over the place. Just the.
It's because Miller owns. That's because Miller owns them.
Yeah.
Say it a little clearer. You sounded like Gordy Robinson saying it.
Leinenkugels.
Leinenkugels? How do you spell that?
LEINENKUGEL''S.
That's a big one.
Yep.
All right.
I guess
Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
Where Falls?
Chippewa Falls.
Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, home of Leinenkugels. Chippewa Falls.
Yeah.
How far is Chippewa Falls from you?
About almost 3 hours.
So it's west of Green Bay.
Well west of Green Bay. Yeah.
Almost to the Minnesota border.
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay.
It's about 2/3 of the way across the state.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
And here's two more posts from Bruce Wilson. Testing. By now he's sent me about five emails saying we can't get the viewer post working. Silence. Nothing. I'm not answering them at all. Here's one from Brian Doherty. I can never figure out what Brian Doherty's doing. He's always got something else going on. He builds a lot of plywood boxes. There's more from Brian Doherty building plywood boxes with C-clamps. Chris Atkins. 100 down, 500 more to go. What are these? These are car cards.
Car cards.
Envelopes.
Yeah.
You're not doing it on JMRI? You're doing it on the old-fashioned way with car cards?
I like car cards.
I like car
these
cards, too.
These were done using shinware to print them.
Shinware?
Yep. Shinware.
We talked about that once before. SHENWARE?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like an open source thing, isn't it?
No, it's a
company.
You pay for the Peter. What's Peter's last name?
Peter Shin.
No, it's Shenandoah Software. Is Peter's last name?
All right. Oh, there it is. There, Shinware. Look at that.
Peter White.
Peter White. So he
lives in St. Augustine, Florida.
Wow, not that far from where I am in Florida. So it's Shenandoah Software, and they make car card waybills, 4-cycle.
They started out making a inventory program,
right?
So you keep track of your inventory, and then you just, because you have it all in inventory, you can print out the car cards. And they have another program prints out the waybills, 4-cycle waybills. So I've been doing a bunch of that too.
Yeah, that's the one. Isn't that the one that Bill Brillinger talked about?
I don't remember. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Where you can keep
It's pretty common. It's popular. It's a popular way of doing it.
Yeah, where you can keep an inventory of your car cards.
We have a guy that uses this system for his layout, and it's actually pretty nice. He actually does it where he has the picture of the car and everything on it. He's got the whole full Monty done.
Yeah, a lot of N-scalers do it that way.
Yeah, and it's actually really kind of helpful. It almost makes everything you're doing with the car cards foolproof, doing it that way, because you're able to color code and you're able to do all sorts of different things. It's actually a pretty cool little setup.
Okay, you can color code them too. So I see. So the 4-cycle waybills, you can color code them?
Yeah, I have the color code so that when I go back off the layout, I have it color coded as which staging goes to.
Okay. So we should track this guy down.
I've never met Peter or talked to him, but he's very responsive when you email him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And
you had to go over to his place with a microphone and just ring his doorbell and stick a microphone in his face.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'll just walk over there and stick a just after the
Make sure you bring cheese balls.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the next one is Mike Wachowski, listening to viewer mail, flight 62. Lionel wanted me to take a picture of where I was. Here it is, exiting Manitowoc, exciting Manitowoc, Wisconsin. This is where Spoon has been causing trouble with the CN.
You skipped one.
Yeah. I did?
Yeah.
Which one?
Brian Doherty.
Oh, yeah, right, I did.
But we can go back to that one.
Okay. Well, the Atlas N-scale bearing block part number 480007 work in an Intermountain N-scale SD40T-2.
No.
Do you know the answer to that?
Yeah, it's no. I think he might have been asking the wrong group.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you notice I skipped over that one?
Yeah. I noticed nobody has responded with a comment or a like. That's a shame.
Exactly.
I don't even know what an Intermountain N-scale SD42 looks like. 40T-2. Sorry, it's a tunnel motor.
Yeah, I imagine it looks a lot like an HOSD 40T-2.
Yeah, but what is the bearing block part number 480007? I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. Well, okay, Spoon, you wanted us to go back, so we went back.
Okay.
So you know what I see in this photo? He says he's exiting. He's in the wrong lane to exit.
No.
Is this a common thing in Wisconsin?
Exciting.
No, exciting. Not
Oh,
exiting.
I thought he was exiting.
No, he's only
You're
passing.
right. Well, it's the exit sign there, so I was confused.
Yeah, he's
And
only
you've obviously not driven in Wisconsin very much because there's plenty of people that exit from the left lane.
That's only when there's somebody right on your right in your blind spot that you do that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, do you take the same road to Manitowoc?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
Exact highway, yep.
Is that an interstate or is it just a 4-lane road?
That's an interstate.
Interstate number
43, I-43.
I-43, south to Milwaukee.
Yeah, he looks like he is actually heading south.
There he is. And it doesn't 43 terminate in Milwaukee?
No. It actually terminates in Beloit.
Oh, of course.
It goes all the way. When you get to Milwaukee, it splits. 43 and 94 actually split.
Right.
They come together at the Marquette interchange,
Right.
and then they split again the other side of town. And then the northern terminus is Green Bay.
Right.
So
And
only about 4 miles from my house.
And when was the I-43 completed?
Oh, let's see here. I want to say, I'll bet you it's every bit of 1981-ish,
Yeah.
82-ish.
I'll bet you nobody cares.
I'll bet you nobody does either. But I can remember coming off when it wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That would take a little while longer to get to Milwaukee if it wasn't there.
you took Highway 41, the other highway that went to,
Right.
but that went through every little town you wanted to know.
So Mike, I imagine Mike, how fast do we figure he's going here? I think he's doing about 70, 75.
That's a fair guess.
Yeah,
He's observing the speed limit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we probably chewed up a couple more miles for him.
Oh,
Okay.
every bit of that.
Okay, Mike, take a picture of the next exit sign right now. Get a good get a good shot of it. We'll see where you are next time. This is remember, Mike, this is ViewerPosts Vacation Cruise number 22 when we're asking you to take the photo. So get a good clear one. Let's see, we're moving on here. Chris Adams again, Atkins. Here's some 1980s sound for Tony Cook. I couldn't find the steam engine to go with the Tyco Chuff car, but this is the P2K ST7. Still had the original horn hook couplers and filled in. So where'd you get this? Where'd you get this from?
Well, I had one of these when I was a kid.
Didn't everybody?
And so I was working on a project. I wanted to build an odometer, and so this car was going to be my odometer because it's got a big wheel in it. I figured that you could just count how many times the wheel goes around and convert it to miles or scale feet or whatever.
How big is your layout?
It's 85 feet long by 16 feet wide, but it's maybe like a third of the way built.
Yeah, you don't have time to be building odometers.
This is a project I started a while back.
It doesn't really matter.
Before I lived here, so.
Throw it in the garbage. You don't have time to be building
I'm not going to
odometers.
throw this classic in the garbage, man. This is a Chuff car.
You don't have time to be building odometers. You got layouts to build. Come on. There's no time for Chuff cars. Do you have a Chuff car, Mike?
You
I
don't have
did.
to.
I had that exact same car when I was growing up. I don't anymore.
No. The
No.
Chuff car. The Tyco Chuff car. Here's
Yeah, for those who aren't familiar, it's like a wheel, hamster wheel, and it's got plastic BBs or something in it, and every time it goes around, the plastic BBs would fall over and it'd go shoo, like that kind of.
Right.
There's audio. It's a video. There's audio.
Yeah, I know.
For those
Did you notice I didn't play it?
Well, I'm sure you already had played it.
Yeah, numerous times. Probably after 10, I said I needed to take a break.
This is the 12-second version. You're just lucky I didn't put the 3-minute version on here.
Did you have a Chuff car, Bruce?
No, we made our own sound.
There you go.
Yeah, it just brings back visions. A bunch of kids around the layout making engine sounds.
That's what the sound is, right? When you're a kid, you're running.
Yep.
I was thinking more like, this is not a warning. This is not a warning. This is an action. Somehow Bruce has pushed the button. All right, here's one from Kevin Marks. Just finished listening to The Fading Yellow with Mike Devereaux. Outstanding. To clarify, per Tim Morris of Fast Tracks, a jig guides the tool and a fixture holds the items to be assembled. Tim is on the left, is holding the very first Fast Tracks fixture made with wood to test his concept. That's right, he made the very first one on a piece of like 1x12 or something. And for Bruce Wilson, size does matter. I'm holding an O-scale number 4 double crossover that I built using the fixtures. Kevin Marks goes everywhere with this track work. This is not working to pick up girls, I'm sure, but he's in a bar. Hey, do you want to see my double crossover? You got
my fixture.
Why are you guys laughing? Were you if you were at the
Because
picnic?
it's probably true.
Yeah. Don't
He
you,
probably picks up more girls than we can.
and he's changed. That's his old hairstyle there. That's Kevin's old hair.
I was gonna say something's wrong with the top of his head. There's no hard part there.
Yeah,
There's-
that's the old hairstyle.
yeah.
I wonder. I'm sure Kevin's probably coming to Kansas City. Kansas City's going to be trouble.
Oh yeah.
That's an accident looking for a place. What are you talking about? You'll be long.
Oh,
gone.
I'll be yeah. Kansas City may wait a minute. Kansas City may not be there.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, Kansas City is there.
Yeah. Don't touch
God.
it. All right, moving right along here. Simon Hill. Good job. I like red wires and still more to go. One thing I found is have plenty in stock. You need to have plenty of red wires in stock. What is he working on here? This is the decoders and
Looks like block detection or
block
something.
detection. Yeah, man, look at that wiring. That is beautiful. I was just going to say I like wiring because if you make it neat, it's nice to look at and it works really well.
It's easy to diagnose.
As long as you label everything, it's okay. You know.
Especially if you use only red wires.
Exactly.
Are those Digitrax BDL16s, I think? So that would be
that's-
block detection.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Yeah, that's got to be that.
Block detector. Boy, that's a beautiful wiring job, Simon. That's absolutely gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, here's Sean Besher. My review is the first one, page 14 in the March 2018 issue of Model Railroad News. Big thanks to Lionel Strang. You're welcome. And Tony Cook. I don't think I did anything, though. Big thanks to Lionel Strang and Tony Cook for presenting this opportunity. I made sure to plug my hobby store, Hiawatha Hobbies, and AML. And Tony even threw in a link to the Milwaukee Northwestern Railroad Museum at Oconomowoc Historical Society Museum, where I volunteer. The only thing I was disappointed about is working the Google on the internet machine got changed to searching on Google. Dang editors who aren't in the AML know. Well, seeing as how the editor was one Tony Cook, I think he was in the AML know. You better be careful there, Sean. That might be your first and last review. It's pretty cool. Has anybody else seen those Norfolk Southern 911? He's pretty excited. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool what Tony did there, finding somebody to do a... Oh, look at this. Luke Lemons from the frozen... February 14th, exactly 1 year later. From the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. This knucklehead went out and got flowers this morning from episode number 73, Lionel the Ladies Man. Nice one, Luke. Nice one, buddy. Way to go. You didn't have to be asked. You didn't have to be persuaded. You just went out there. The knucklehead count in Green Bay is shrinking rapidly.
Oh, I outdid that. I just didn't post it.
Oh, well done. But yeah, you outdid it, but you didn't post it. You forgot to take a picture.
No, I took a picture.
Yeah, sure you did.
I think I think it's on my wife's. It's actually on my wife's Facebook page someplace.
Yeah. Why did she put it on the Facebook page?
I don't know. Probably because she was surprised.
Oh,
So
so you gave her flowers, and then she was so excited she put it on her Facebook page.
I think so. Either
Yeah.
that or she was just shocked that I did
Yeah.
anything at all.
Yeah, you know what? You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here's another one from Simon Hill. This week I've been playing around with the control panel design. This is one of the quarry loading areas, and I'm mindful of not overcomplicating them with lots of unwanted info other than point and signal numbers. I'm not sure yet about this one, but it's fairly easy to change this covering. Also, as a friend has offered to cut the panels on his laser, so this test is probably a good way to ensure I'm happy before committing to the main panels. Also, all the connecting wires have been attached to the 4 boards that the panel controls, so some serious testing has taken place. So now some guys like Chris Atkins and Peter Borchard are using tablets now. Things are changing so much, so fast. So that is a nice panel anyways. North Fleet. What fleet are you in, Bruce, on this trip? Are you at
What
least
fleet?
Yeah, well, is it the 5th fleet? Don't they call a
I
bunch
haven't-
of ships? You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really asked that question.
Aren't you going to bone up with lots of information?
Sounds
So-
like
Well, I
we
want
have 7 days to ask questions, right?
Oh yeah, I'll come back and you can ask that question. I'll be able to tell you everything. Well, actually, I may not be able. They may say to me, "You are
There
not
you
to tell
go.
anybody any of that stuff."
This is all national secrets.
Nah.
Yeah.
Apparently, so anyways, somebody fell overboard. A civilian fell overboard about 1,000 miles east of Hawaii.
Yeah, it was last seen wearing an orange one more a Modeler's Life T-shirt.
The Navy says we did an extensive search, but after 15 minutes we continued on. By the time they got the boat slowed down, we were already a mile past. All right. Oh, there's don't pass over this. Brian Doherty. Oh, the Dallas North Texas Plano train show. How did that go, Chris?
Oh, it was great. It was the best.
You sold lots of stuff, and you're still in charge of it. You're going to be in charge of it for another 2 years.
Yeah, at least.
At least, yeah, probably. You might want to extend that. You're going to be like John Sacerdoti, who's been running the Springfield show for 15 years. How long have
That
you been?
sounds great.
How long have you been running the show now?
Like 4 years.
Do they make you pay to get in?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody pays. The only people that don't pay are if you do a clinic,
Right.
or if you have your home layout on tour.
Okay.
You get in for free, but everybody else pays.
Even the volunteers.
Yeah, especially the volunteers.
That's
We
pretty.
don't let any freeloaders in.
So
Yeah, what it is some clubs have 6 people, some have 40 people. We can't just let all the
right.
clubs have their people in for free. It wouldn't be very fair. So we
No.
just said, okay, everybody pays.
Everybody, including the guy running the show.
Yeah, especially him.
Okay. All right.
This year I didn't do a clinic in January. I usually do a clinic, and so I paid my $10 and away I went.
And how many people do you think you get through that show in 2 days?
Around 6,000 people in January.
That's a fair whack of dough then.
That's
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Yeah. That's a decent number. And it's the biggest show in the area.
Yes.
All right. And what?
We have a World's Greatest Hobby comes to Fort Worth every once in a while. That's bigger.
Yeah. Is that still going, that world's greatest hobby thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just had one, didn't they?
I don't really pay attention to it. Because it was.
It's a lot like the National Train Show, really.
Is it still?
Yeah, it's very, very similar.
And it kind of travels from place to place, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
It's
Combach.
been in Fort Worth twice.
That's a
There's
Combach
about-
thing, isn't it?
It's the Hobby Manufacturers Association, and I'm pretty sure Kalmbach is a big part of it.
I'm forgetting now. Last time I was talking to Shane Wilson of ScaleTrains.com, he was excited because the Orlando train show went so well. Because I think the guys that run the Great American Train Show, had taken over publicity for that.
Okay.
So he was pretty excited. So there must be, and it travels or something. Don't anybody look it up at the same time. I'll look it up. I will look it up. I'll look it
World's
up.
Greatest Hobby, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, isn't that what you just said?
Yeah, I said, it travels. It's somewhere different, like two shows in different places every year.
Yeah.
2 or 3 shows.
All right. And
I sent a picture on the Skype thing of my contribution to Valentine's Day too while you're looking that up.
Oh, there.
The only thing that's missing is the balloon because she couldn't fit the whole thing in there.
Yeah,
there was a balloon.
Sure. That's nice. That's nice. So I want to know more about the Great American Train Show. Let's talk about the Great American Train Show.
Well, so the Great American Train Show is no longer a thing.
It's the world's greatest hobby.
Replaced it. Yeah. So, but the people that did the GATS or Great American Train Show, they still are in the business of doing train shows. They just don't call it GATS anymore.
Right. So,
matter of fact, we just had 2 of their shows.
Is it the same guys?
Yeah. What is it called?
World's Greatest Hobby.
So the World's Greatest Hobby is one thing, and the GATS is another thing.
All right, that's why I'm confused. I want to clear this all up because I've never paid attention to either of them because I've never gone to either of them.
So are we talking about the World's Greatest Hobby, or are we talking about Great American Train Show right now?
I don't know.
Because I'm confused.
I thought we were talking about World's Greatest Hobby.
Well,
and then I think Bruce or somebody mentioned that the Orlando show was good because the GATS, the guy who does GATS, and I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but he did the publicity for the National Train Show in Orlando.
Yeah,
Isn't that what you were saying, Bruce?
I said it.
Yeah,
Lionel
said it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, Mike. What do you think about this one? Is this one going to be okay?
It's on pretty shaky ground right now.
Yeah, exactly. There's the World's Greatest Hobby on tour, and then there's the Great American Train Show.
So the Great American Train Show it's no longer called that, but it's trainshows.com as the website. And
so what do they call their show?
By the way, they must have an affiliation with World's Greatest Hobby because that's one of their things. They call it different things in different places now. Greenberg's Train Show and Toy Show is part of it. Great Train Show.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think the general name is Great Train Show now instead of Great American Train Show.
All right. You've lost me. I don't think I was.
Trainshow.com is the website.
Trainshow.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the GATS guys that are trainshow.com, but now they have all sorts of they have different shows now. And they're never in the same place. I guess that's why I've never really paid attention.
So it looks like the World's Greatest Hobby on Tour, there are 4 shows this year. And the next year's schedule.
Next year, yeah, that's what I was just.
So
yeah.
because all the shows are in January and February, which is interesting. So next year they're in Schaumburg, Illinois, Oaks, Pennsylvania, Council Bluffs, Iowa, and Novi, Michigan.
Okay, so
they're staying with it. So they're staying basically within a 400-mile radius.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's kind of odd.
They usually are a little more diverse than that because they do a lot of them either in Houston or in Fort Worth. I'm not sure all the other locations, but.
So do you think the guy, this trainshow.com, you think they own all of these shows? World's Greatest Hobby on Tour, Great Train Show, Greenberg Shows, and Great Midwest Train Show? You think they own all?
I don't think they own the World's Greatest Hobby show because I'm pretty sure that is a... see where it says... There's the yellow and black logo. It says World's Greatest Hobby, and it has that logo. I'm pretty sure is the whatever the Manufacturers Association.
I thought that was the one that Kalmbach was heavily involved in a long time ago.
Yes, they definitely are. Yeah.
Okay. See, Kalmbach changed their name from Kalmbach Publishing to Kalmbach Media.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to get online?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe that's what the NMRA needs to do. Just change their name from NMRA to NMRA Media.
Maybe Kalmbach's no longer involved because there's a splash screen here that goes by with a bunch of manufacturers.
Right.
And Kalmbach's not one of them.
All right. Have you ever been to the Wheaton, Illinois show, Mike?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
That's the one that's once a month, most months.
Near Chicago.
Yeah.
No.
And well, they must do well because it's April 8th, May 6th, June 3rd, August 12th. Interesting, huh? I'm telling you, this hobby is way bigger than anybody realizes. Way bigger. All right, here's one from Andy Dorsch in Ripon, Wisconsin. Diorama, llama, ding dong. Worked on this for a while listening to the latest Atkins diet. Oh, that's very popular. Still waiting for my invite to Prairie Rail. Hey, how's Cheese Rail going, Mike?
We're slowly but surely starting to decide whether it's going to be a thing or not.
You're slowly but sure. Do you have a group? Do you have a group steering committee?
There's me,
right?
And Andy thought it might be a good idea,
right?
And that's pretty much where the conversation ended.
How many operating layouts do you have in the area?
Yeah,
a lot.
Well, that should be a piece of cake then, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
shouldn't you talk to somebody else?
Rather than
just the two of you?
It is a in process deal.
So did I talk to you about getting a hold of the guys in lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
I definitely talked to Ron Kofer, one of those guys down there, about what it takes to put one on, and they probably could get you some names and stuff, give you some advice, and maybe you could probably if they knew they had enough people up in where you're at that are interested in operating, you probably get some invitations down to their event too, I would think.
Well, no, is that like an NMRA thing, or is it just
no, it's purely
just a thing, right?
It's just a thing, yeah.
Just
that got all confusing with the whole insurance deal. Kind of got me
jeez
thinking about that. I was just sitting there going, wow, do we have to
admit it, talking about NMRA insurance made your brain turn to mush.
Well, it certainly made my head hurt for a couple of days.
Yeah, well, this has been broadcast like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 months later, and we're still going on about NMRA insurance. That show hurt. That made my head hurt too. A pounding headache.
So most of these operating weekends, I don't know that any of them are officially NMRA organized things. Now, there's definitely like this Tulsa thing I just did, even though it's an OPSIG, LDSIG event, it's put on by their division. But it's the same guys that it would be in the division if it was a non-division thing. It's it's just the model rotors in the Tulsa area. Right. But when you go to the national, the operating sessions there are put on by the OPSIG, and there's space I think at the convention for the road show. So that's probably one of the closest things you'd find to NMRA sponsored operating.
Yeah.
But
I'll have
all
to get
these
hold of those guys over at, I think it's River Rail. I think that's what they call it over there by La Crosse.
Yep,
is it
that's
River
exactly
Rail?
it. River Rail.
Have you ever been to River Rail, Chris?
I have not, and I'm not sure why. I just haven't gotten on the email list and said I'd go. I think it's the years alternating from the
Prairie Rail.
Minnesota deal.
Oh, Min Rail.
No. Yeah, the Prairie Rail alternates with the Omaha
Rail.
OS Omaha. And then I think that the La Crosse thing alternates with the Twin Cities.
Oh, weekend. Okay. So is that the name you're going with, Cheese Rail?
That is also yet to be determined.
Frozen Tundra Rail.
I can't remember them all at all, be honest with you, but there have been quite a few valiant attempts at trying to name this, and it's I kind of said, okay, before we name it, we need to see if it's going to be a thing first of all.
Well, you could name it Cheese Rail as a working title.
Could.
You're not.
I've organized a bunch of these, and I can help you guys out if you need anything.
Okay, now wait a
Oh,
minute.
that'd be perfect.
Wait a minute here.
Yes.
Let's time out here.
Yes.
Time out.
Okay.
I think I got a serious question.
Oh,
I think I got an observation, and Chris and Bruce, I would like you to help me with this.
no.
Okay.
All right.
These never work out very well for me.
I know.
This is a serious. Mike, the spoon strikes me as more of a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, and I know he's heavily involved with the union, local 406 of the locomotive engineers.
Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers.
Yeah.
209. Yes,
209.
209.
Okay. But you sound like you're overthinking this cheese rail thing, and I'm thinking to myself all of a sudden oh no, Mike isn't one of those overthinking guys, is he?
Well, no. Yes. Sometimes. Maybe.
Don't overthink that answer. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
Just go with
really.
your gut.
No, I'm one of the kind of people that if I'm going to do something like this, I'm going to do it right the first time out of the gate.
Right.
So I'd rather take longer amount of time to get it done right than just throw a bunch of stuff together and detract people from participating and work. I don't want to work backwards going forward, if you understand
I understand that.
what that means. I want to do it right out of the gate. And I know it's not going to be perfect. I understand that. I get that. But whenever I've been involved in inaugural things of certain, types and stuff, it's always gone. It hasn't just come out that this is what's happening. It's always been, very, very methodically planned out. And there was kind of test sessions and stuff like that to see how things go. I mean, it could be a year from now before we even have anything concrete
Right.
towards something like this. And so,
here's where I'm stumbling. You can't even come up with a working title. You can't even say, well, let's just refer to it as cheese rail so we know what we're all on the same page.
It's going to be called tag rail from now on.
Tag rail.
Tag rail.
Tag rail?
Yeah, tag rail. Why not?
All right.
It's the last 3 letters of my last name.
Yeah, there you go. Tag rail.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Green Bay to make into tag. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I want to try to not associate with the Packers because that's kind of overdone.
Oh yeah.
It's always overdone. Everything over here is Green Bay.
We
Packers.
did one here. We called spring training, which was kind of fun.
Ooh, that's kind of a neat. That's a neat idea. I might steal that.
Yeah, well, you're welcome to steal that.
Yeah, thank you.
The guy who came up with it is a kind of a.
What's the name of the street you live on, Mike?
Farland Avenue.
Okay, Far Rail. There you go.
Yeah, Far Rail. Yeah.
How about this? It was the night before we lost Bruce in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, it's going to be Wilson Rail then.
Yeah, exactly.
Memoriam.
Shark Rail.
Shark Rail.
So do they have do businesses have names that associated with the greater Green Bay area that are something you see, you know what I'm saying? Like when I lived in Wyoming, because the
colors are green, yellow. I mean it's green and gold. Their colors are green and gold. I mean,
okay,
everything.
They don't name themselves, Packer or something or this.
Oh yeah, we have a company here that's called Packer Fastener.
Well,
okay,
it's like a fastenal.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They sell nuts and bolts and stuff like that. So I mean, we have all sorts of different things named Packer.
Okay, why don't you call it Third and Two Rail?
That's a little wordy.
All right.
How about just 2 rail?
Yeah, 2 rail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Punt rail. Call it punt rail. There you go. Punt rail.
I'll come up with something.
Yeah, I bet you.
Anyway, regardless of whatever the name is,
it's cheese rail until something better comes along.
Yeah, cheese rail. It's cheese rail until something. Don't get offended.
I'm not offended.
If the Arkansas guys can call their event Hog Rail,
yeah.
And I think you guys shouldn't have any of.
Well, and it'll have to be. You have to get it passed by the NMRA board of directors anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I know.
All right. Moving on. February 20th. Peter Borchert, listening to the latest podcast on the way home from a client with Lionel interviewing Steve Campbell. When my next turn popped up on my sat nav, coincidence? I think not. Satellite navigation system, I'm assuming is what he means by sat nav. Peter Borchert is one of the guys that's always... He'll send me a message about some show, and he'll go, blah, 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 about some particular show, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, on the last such and such show, on the Atkins diet, you were talking about such and such, and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. I always feel like he's disappointed because I don't remember everything that we broadcast. So anyways, it's a picture of Lionel Road South. It popped up on his satellite navigation system. Coincidence? I think not. How come he's only got 22% on his phone? Wouldn't it be plugged into it? It's not even charging. Wouldn't it be plugged into his car if he's using his phone?
You would hope so.
Yeah, it's 22%. What happens if you have a breakdown, Peter? You need your phone to be charged, buddy. Come on. All right, moving along. Another one from Peter Borchert. It keeps on getting better. If you ever get a chance to visit this, you'll be in for the time of your life. All right. So venison. So Peter, Peter Borchert, have you been to the Miniature Wonderland? These are two guys that owned I think they owned a nightclub, and they started building this thing. Now everybody in the world is building a Miniature Wonderland.
Is that the place that's got that airport?
Yeah. It's the greatest model railroad on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
There's guys in Toronto building one, and they got
one in.
They built one in Times Square.
Yep, New York one. That's the New York one. There's one in Massachusetts. They want to build. Russia's building one.
They've been trying to build one in Dallas for quite a while, but I don't know what's going on. They keep thinking they got the money, and then
and there was some guy in Greenville, South Carolina, that was trying to build one, and he kept somehow I kept getting emails from him. I don't know how I got on his email list. Don't they realize that? I mean, I think it's a great idea, but I think the basis of it is that you just have to have a pocket full of money and you start building it.
Oh yeah,
for the heck of it. I don't
that one that Ralph took me to, the one up where you're
in Toronto, yeah.
Oh, what is it? Miniature Our Home or something?
Yeah, Our Home Canada Miniature. They came up with it. There you go, Mike. There was their problem. They thought about the name too long, and they couldn't just call it, Canada in Miniature or something.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's just
holy cow.
Yeah. Like they
throwing a lot of money at it.
Yeah, they were.
I was just looking at Michael Barnes at his D9. That looks fun.
What's a D9?
You'll see.
One. Oh, the next one. Oh, come on.
Oh, you're ahead of it.
You can't be doing that.
Sorry,
that's very Disney.
Yeah.
It's Miniature Wonderland. Next time I go to Germany, I'm definitely going to check it out. Yeah. Moving on. Look at that bulldozer. Holy cow. That thing is monstrous. Where's he at?
And that's a little one.
Well, D9 is the largest one of the Cat makes. I don't know what the R means, but interesting.
So where's the dime? I can't see it.
It's on his hard hat.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought he was going to put it on his forehead. It's.
Oh, yeah. It's safety first. So where does Michael live, and what is he doing with a D9?
I don't know, but it's snowed.
Oh, Michael and I are the same age. It's good to know.
Did we lose Lionel?
Sounds like it. Is he on mute?
I've been on mute.
Oh.
I think that's the first time I ever did that.
Good job.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because there were expletives flying, and he didn't have enough time to hit the button. He said, "I'm just muting."
I think I hit it by accident. I think I was moving the cursor around, and I hit it by accident. And I heard you guys going, "We lose Lionel," and I'm thinking, "Oh no!" And I'm thinking, I can see you guys on the other side of the studio. So how do you know it's? You said it snowed. How do you know it snowed? There's no snow in that picture.
Okay, to pull a Chris, it's the next one.
Oh yeah, so he lives somewhere where it snows. Okay.
Okay, so all right, so it's okay. So
I was trying to figure out where Michael Barnes lives.
Well, it's not a lot of snow. It snowed really hard here. Hope I can get out of my driveway. That's not a lot of snow. It's a skiff. It's a skiff.
If he can't get out of his driveway, I think I know what it can pull him out.
Yeah, exactly. February 22nd. Mark Barnes says, it snowed really hard here. Oh, look at this. Okay. Chris Hoffman, speaking of snow. Meanwhile, in Montana, somebody lost control of their wiener. It's the wiener. Now, that would be something if you're driving along and all of a sudden you see the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile in the ditch.
Yeah. It's the opposite of high-centered. It's got its, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine, I think there's a bunch of those too. There's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
There's a post on one of the posts that shows that being pulled over by the police.
Oh yeah, that's right too. Yeah, somebody posted that somewhere. Yeah, the Wienermobile in the ditch. I guess it's not 4-wheel drive. I wonder how fast you have to be going with the Wienermobile to lose control of it. All right, next.
I bet you he was distracted because he was using the wrong condiments.
Okay, that's a whole different show. Come on.
I know.
That is a whole different show. Man, when you've been at sea for a week, man, oh man, I don't know if you've been. I don't think you'll.
If I get back.
Yeah, I don't.
Destroyer is a small enough ship. You'll probably get seasick.
Yeah, I don't see you lasting 24 hours before they toss you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike Wachowski listening to Steve Campbell's interview and building some fast tracks turnouts. He got good at that fast, didn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he did, and he's got a pretty good goal in mind, and he's well on his way to achieving it. That's for sure.
And the goal is?
His goal is to replace all of his commercial turnouts with the fast tracks ones.
Okay, wow, that'd be pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a pretty doggone good start on it. That's for sure.
Well, they sure do. Everybody says they work so well.
Yeah, if you follow the direction, and they're be honest with you, it's really kind of hard to mess them up. It's a really well designed system. So
right. So everybody. So we gotta. So you gotta. We gotta. Somebody. You know what, Mike? You should build one.
I've built several actually.
For your HO
layout.
I've got for your HO layout.
No, not for my HO layout. I'm trying to go the entire show without mentioning this.
Yeah, S-scale.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I have a number 5 for S-scale number 5. So.
Okay, when are you going to start your layout?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping. I just tore apart my basement. I tore out a bunch of walls, tore all the electrical out of it. Now I'm in the process of going through a disaster
basement?
area full of. Well, it had a divider in it. So I made it, instead of 2 rooms, I made it all 1 room. So now it's like 11 feet wide by 30 feet long. So
you didn't find any steel posts in that wall. That
I was going to say, yeah.
Nope.
It took them a while.
That's on the other half of the basement.
I was going to say, it took them a while with that Dremel tool to cut out that steel post.
Yeah, I had a razor saw.
So okay, so
but hopefully by fall, I'll be able to start doing something. There's a lot that needs to be done.
So is that so your house is 11 feet wide and 30 feet long? That's
half of it is.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
my whole house has got the footprint of my house is 850 square feet.
Right.
It's like a 1.5 story Cape Cod. So
okay.
It's about 1,300 square feet in total, but the actual footprint is like 850 square feet. So small house.
Old Cape Cod.
Yeah. It has a full basement, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And believe it or not, for being built in, I believe it was 1943, it has a poured foundation.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is part of the reason that I kind of liked it,
Yeah. So the layout room is going to be 11 by 30?
The room the layout will be in is 11 by 30, yes. There's other stuff that's going to go in there.
Right, so the layout room will be 11 by 30?
Sure, yes.
I think I'm seeing a whole new side of you tonight than I never.
Why?
I don't know. You seem like you're very analytical tonight. It seems like I'm seeing a whole side of you where everything has to be analyzed and thought out to its fullest extent before we go ahead.
I maybe.
Dave,
I don't know. I'm just kind of in one of those moods, I guess.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of mood is that? Like you need cheese balls or something?
That does sound good. I have
Ice cream.
I have ham dinner hangover is what's going on.
Yeah. Easter ham dinner.
Yeah, so
Easter ham dinner. Yeah.
we're recording on Easter, so we'll probably all have Easter dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Food comas.
Easter dinner food comas. All right, here's one from Dave Barraza. Scale Schmale. So it's a YouTube video of, I'm going to see what it is. I'm going to even play this just so I can see what it is. Okay, here it comes. It's a little 040.
Yeah, it's pushing a HO scale modern
box car,
mechanical reefer.
So that you can't
Solid.
do. So that I know for sure. The scale police don't allow that.
Yeah, and then he's pushing it with an ON30 Porter.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this Porter going, I need a Porter from my sugar factory.
So that wouldn't be allowed. Like if the scale police
that's-
showed up, that would not be allowed.
I'd have to change out the cab,
Yeah.
put a different stack and headlight on there.
Exactly.
Then it would be an HO scale, which is usually the opposite of what most of those ON30 guys do. They take HO scale locomotives and put great big huge cabs on them and stuff.
All right. Here's one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You missed another one.
All right.
I
Have you
think he's
noticed?
missing it by on purpose though, because
Is that one being missed by on purpose? Okay.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
this one
so.
may be missed
Yeah.
on purpose.
Scale
Sorry.
Schmale.
Sorry, Tom.
I didn't.
Tom, I tried. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry,
Uh,
Tom.
Oh yeah, Tom Jacobs found this awesome version of the Superfan fanfare on YouTube. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, fanfare for the common man. Yeah, maybe we'll have to track that down. And then I'll go on to YouTube and find I look for the worst rendition of a song. Those are my favorites to put on at the end of a show. The worst rendition. I love the one at the end of Virtual Hobby Shop. It's
The Accordion City of New Orleans classic.
is that what it is? The city of New Orleans? It could be
I
just
believe
about
that's
any.
what it is.
It could be just about anything. All right, here's one from Andy Dorsch. Weathering a scale trains boxcar with Bragdon weathering powers and pan pastels. Trying to close the divide expressed on VHS number such and such. Both coexist. Unity 2 enter, 1 leave. So we must have been on a Virtual Hobby Shop talking about weathering. I guess, so
Let's say 12.
he's weathered. So I'm sorry. Andy. I apologize in advance. But it looks like he's not only is he weathering the boxcar, but the entire basement.
Oh, I thought that was just me. I thought it looked like it. Yeah, it's got pan pastels everywhere.
Everywhere. I bet you.
Now,
You guys
to
were
be fair, he's in a spray booth, so some of that could have been from spraying, but it sure looks like there's just pan pastels everywhere.
or Bragdon. He's using Bragdon
Yeah,
weathering
yeah,
powders.
Bragdon, yeah.
and I'll bet he'll be complaining about how much powder's in one container. I only got a half a car done. You wouldn't want to. The problem with Bragdon powders is if you open it up and then sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Bragdon powders. I enjoy Bragdon powders. I find them very easy to use. Here's Sean Besher. I left this comment for Virtual Hobby Shop number 12 in Patreon, but I figured I'd share it here too. Patreon, yeah. I'd share it here for general enjoyment of all. While I thoroughly enjoyed the episode, I was a little disappointed for one if y'all keep picking on Ralphie Boy like that. He might really kick you off his lawn. For two, you were discussing the current issue of Model Railroad News and didn't even discuss the review written by an AML superfan wannabe. That shot was so far off the net it went over the glass and into the netting. Yeah, we didn't even mention Sean. Did you notice that? Or at least he picked up on that. Took him a while. Oh, there's one comment. Let's see what the comment is. Oh, I commented.
Yeah, you can comment.
What did I say? Let's see what I said here. Mine's not coming up. Mine's
Says, no kidding. What a screw up. Oh,
Uh,
well, just
uh,
have to have you.
yeah, on the next
VHS.
yeah. So then I invited him to be on the next VHS, which turned out he was working. He was going to be there, and then he got called for work. And I was thinking, well, that turned out pretty well, because that would have been nasty to have him on that with the. Do you remember that one where we were talking about insurance?
Oh, no, not at all. I'll have to go back and listen
There was
to
a
that.
conversation about insurance?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about NMRA insurance at length.
Mm.
Yeah. Apparently, if you miss 3 meetings of any division anywhere, boom, you're gone. That was a question I had. That was a question I had. What if you keep going to different divisions?
Yeah.
I think you're fine.
Yeah. So,
I think we should just swear off talking about the NMRA altogether.
yeah, we could, but it's
It
fun.
just seems to make everybody angry.
I find it to be fun sometimes.
Sure.
All right, but I just discovered that. What if you keep going to 3 different divisions and do those three meets? You see. All right, here's Martin Jenkins from Australia. They're going to have by now. I may have been on their by Skype. I may have been their after dinner guest. That will be a disaster.
So even if there's not a big lag, you should just wait 30 seconds to answer every question.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or just move your mouth.
Yeah.
Not say anything.
And just give that blank deer the headlights look while you're waiting for the questions.
Like you see on the news.
Yeah.
My dad, for his business years ago, 25 years ago, was on a local talk radio show, phone-in show. So I told him when I called in, I'd go, "Am I on? Am I on?" And I did, but he didn't know who it was me. And I'm like, I thought I was. Am I on? So that's what I'll do with Martin. Martin, that's what I'll do. I'll be, "Am I on? Am I on?"
Up your mind.
So you know what? It sounds like a lot of fun, except I got to do it at 6 a.m. on a Saturday.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't do your hair or brush your teeth or anything.
Yeah, wear your
pajamas.
wear a bathrobe.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a powdered sugar jelly donut from
with some
Over
powder
your
around
ear.
your mouth.
I can't decide if I won't have gone to bed or I will have gone to bed for 3 or 4 hours. I can't decide where that one's going at all.
Well, you know what happened if I went to bed for 3 or 4 hours? I'd sleep right through it. So I'd just better off staying up.
Or what time? What time? Okay, during the week, what time do you go to bed?
I go to bed fairly early because my wife gets up at 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning. So what time do you
Yeah.
go to bed?
It's about 10:30.
All right, so 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
So you don't sleep. So if you only sleep 4 hours, you sleep right through it. But 5.5, you're good to go.
Well, I get to keep sleeping after she gets up and goes to work.
Right.
So
Okay, and she works at Freightliner or something, doesn't she?
Peterbilt, yes.
Okay, a truck company. All right, here's one. Okay, let's do this one by Martin Jenkins. Only a couple of F-class Victorian Railway locals have found their way to Canada, brilliantly weathered by Ralph Renzetti from Photos Supply. This guy is truly a master of grime.
It's a crime he doesn't use pen.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I guess that is why he is known as the Mud Father on the YouTube model builder site.
Oh,
I didn't know that. They look a little out of place working for the CP. So Ralphie Boy is now an international weatherer. Has the Australian dirt down pat.
Wow.
Aussie dirt. That's what we got. There you go. That's the name of your cheese rail. Aussie dirt.
Yeah, because that's relevant. Well, nobody said it had to be relevant.
How
Yeah.
about relevant rail?
Yeah, all I want like when you and Andy talk about it now, like what do you go that plan we have that we're not giving a name to? Is that how you refer to it?
No.
Operating weekend.
We've had a conversation about it.
Oh, okay.
So it'll happen.
All
I
right.
think.
I think it's time for another Leinenkugels.
Yeah, exactly.
What
I
kind
thi-
are you drinking?
Well, they mostly bring the shandies in here, so I've got an orange shandy.
That's not bad. That one's not.
Yeah, I never had that one before. I usually get the summer shandies, which in the summer when it's real hot, it tastes like lemonade.
Yeah.
But I saw these on the shelf. I thought I'd give them a shot. They're pretty good.
Otto Von Drack would like this show because he's a beer connoisseur. What's a shandy? Explain. Somebody out there won't know what a shandy is.
Shandy's really sweet. It's got a lot of juice in it, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a bad shot in golf that went off to the right.
I think it's like a wit beer with like fruit juice in it, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
or something along those.
Yeah, exactly. Like grapefruit.
Oh, they make
Yeah,
one of
with
those.
lemonade.
I know, they make
They
those.
make a pomegranate shandy.
I know they make them all now.
Yeah.
Here's one from Ben Gifford. Just got home from the dentist. Oh, it looks like it too. Spending
yeah.
the rest of the day laying track and catching up on Virtual Hobby Shop number 12. Well,
Oh God.
What's he got stuck in his homebed there? That's not a dime.
it is. Who gave this guy a sharp object? He doesn't
Wouldn't
look
that
right
be-
in the head.
Looks like a quarter though. Is that a dime?
Looks like a
Looks like he's
dime.
got two of them there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's dimes
No,
all
it's-
over the place.
Is it in scale?
No, is it?
Yeah, well, that's why you have a dime for scale, so you can tell that it's in scale.
Well, it looks like 8 show scale, but
Oh, maybe it
they're
is.
not-
I think a dime
not?
looks smaller than that. Well, see, now I'm just screwed up because it's not on his forehead.
They look like circles that have been punched out of a electrical junction. box.
Yeah, they look big for dimes.
All right.
Slugs.
You can see the torch on the one the one closest to him. You could see the torch on its side
Yeah.
So,
if you
Lionel,
look at it real
because you,
close. It's
of
an
course,
old
because you've
dime.
written a DCC book, you know that the best tool for checking whether you have a DCC signal is a quarter
Right.
in HO scale, because a dime doesn't fit across the rails,
Right. Well, that doesn't
and
fit.
that sure looks like that would short those rails out.
He just came home from the dentist. Give the
Yeah.
guy a break, will you?
Maybe he's confused. He's still
Yeah.
a little loopy from the anesthesia or whatever.
No,
Exactly.
mostly I was interested in what scale he was doing. If it was indeed HO scale, sure looks like HO scale compared to his
It's
T pens.
It's posted from Rock Island, New York, or Rock Island, Illinois. That's the coolest part. Oh, geez, here's another one from Michael Barnes. Darn, it's the white stuff again. Only this is a little thicker.
So Rock Island, but he models a Sioux line, huh? So that's
Well, what are you modeling?
well. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm asking you. Well, I'm asking.
I don't live in a town named after a railroad. No. What do I model? I model the Sioux line, of course, like everybody.
You're modeling the Northern Pacific.
I am
And how far into Dallas did the Northern Pacific come?
all the way, all the way.
Another one from Michael Barnes. Okay, so we talked about that. Okay. Oh, here's one of Ralph's art pictures. Oh, that's March 1st. Oh, let's keep going. We got another 10 minutes. Ralph Renzetti, Lionel, you talked about my artwork. I did in Virtual Hobby Shop. Here's an example of where I started. Besides doing black and white landscapes, I ventured into an area that I'm familiar with, hockey. Notice he capitalized hockey. The goalie mask totally captured my attention, and I wanted to capture the goalie end mask.
So he drew those.
Yeah, he's an excellent artist. What does that mean?
Wow, that is really neat.
What does that mean, goalie?
Oh, so he does that dot art
Yeah.
where everything is
Point-
like really fine.
Pointillism?
Yep.
Is it pointillism?
Dotalism is what he says here. But
What
yes.
Can we go back to what I asked? And I wanted to capture the goalie N / mask. What does that mean?
Oh,
man.
he's got he did the goalie, and then he did a picture of the mask.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, the N screwed me up there.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah.
Me neither.
Well,
Maybe-
if you look at the picture below, you have the goalie with the mask, the large goalie with the mask,
yeah,
and he drew it without the person in the mask.
I know. I just wonder what the N meant. All right, and a method described dotalism. The artwork is completely done with dots, no lines. Man, that would drive me nuts.
Mm.
That looks like Corey Crawford of the Chicago Blackhawks. Why isn't he doing a Toronto Maple Leaf guy? That seems pretty strange. Why is he doing a Chicago Blackhawks guy? That I don't see that happening now. Here's Philip Hoffman. Rail fanning today. Is that the Sperry rail car? No. What is that? That's a
Rail grinder.
It is a rail
rail
grinder,
grinder.
but it's not Sperry, is it? It's Lorem.
Oh, Lorem.
Yeah.
I never heard
I
of
got
that.
I've got a
they're
cool
all
picture
over.
of one running.
Yeah.
That's all kinds of fire and stuff come out
Oh
of it.
yeah.
Looks like a European locomotive, doesn't it?
I've got a video of one starting a fire right behind the Green Bay yard office,
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
and then going and putting out same said fire.
Uh-oh. Here's Mike Wachowski. He had a few visitors over to see the DNRGW at Moffett route tonight with Andy Dorsch and 2 others. So Silent H and Luke Lemons only get referred to as 2 others.
Yeah,
That's Jason Hetke, don't pronounce the H, and Luke Lemons, who has the fabulous Sue Line second sub.
How do you say Hetke without pronouncing the H?
I don't know. But
Would
he
that
gets,
be
Yeah, the
Etke?
second one. There's a
Oh,
sec-
the second one.
the one after the T is silent.
Okay, so it's not Hethy.
No.
yeah, Etke. Yeah,
Hetke.
that's what
No,
I
it's
knew.
Hetke.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just, you know what? Let's just start. The H is silent. Which one?
I think that's a better name. Let's call the H as silent.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, well, that's what they call him now, Silent H. But
Yeah.
but oh my God! Please, somebody help me remember. Somebody help me remember. The next time I see him, I'll pronounce the H, and then he'll say the H is silent, and then I'll say which one.
Which one?
Okay,
That's good.
that's a mouthful. Oh, and this is a cool one. This is I told this story somewhere. I don't know where I told this story, but this is Stuart Sterling, former F1 ace. I believe he won Monaco in '79 or '81. I can't remember. And anyways, Seth Gardner called me. Seth Gardner. Gardner is a name that can really lead you astray because there's Gartner. It can go a lot of different ways. So, anyways, they posted this picture, and I went, "Oh, that's cool." And all like 5 minutes later, Seth called me, and the next thing I know, I'm talking to all these guys. Look at the amount of pizza. And that's when I said to them, I was at a loss for words. I was like kind of stunned, how cool it was that these guys had come together because of the podcast. And at some point, 5 minutes in, I go, yeah, somebody said I need to go to Anchorage. And I went, yeah, I guess they have like flights there and stuff, eh? and electricity and indoor plumbing, and they got everything now in Anchorage. Anyways, it says, wow, look who showed up in Alaska again. Yeah, it's actually Seth is later Stuart told me Seth is going to kind of start getting annoying because he keeps showing up. Enjoying pizza and
Wait,
beer.
is that why Stuart had to go to Oregon? Or was he gonna
Yeah,
wait
yeah,
for
Don't even
exactly.
go there. Don't even go there.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a story
Yeah,
we
he
need to
didn't
tell.
see Bruce. Oh,
Oh, I know. He traveled to Oregon. He's like 2.5 hours from Bruce, and he doesn't
He
tell
never
him.
said a word.
Never said a word.
by
And
the way, Bruce, the town I was trying to think of was Florence.
Yes, Florence.
That's
yes.
where when we go to Eugene, we go to Florence to go to the beach.
And you go to the sand dunes.
Yeah, in the sand dunes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a whole different story.
That's
When-
Oh, that, we talked about that on the last.
Oh, okay.
Viewer-
on the
vacation
last
cruise.
Vacation cruise. All right. Which was, 2 months ago?
That was like a week ago.
It was a week ago, but when was it broadcast? That's the problem.
A week ago. I'm gonna say a week ago. I'm gonna say you're gonna get these things out one every week.
No, when am I going to do that? I got the Atkins
I don't
diet.
know.
I got virtual hobby shop. You just don't seem to be able to grasp.
I have faith in you, Lionel.
I'm not going to
I
do
have
more
faith
than
in you.
I am not going to do like if I do like 7 or 8, then all of a sudden every time I do a bunch, Peter Borsch makes a big deal about how many. So I just decided nope.
It's bits are free. Bits are free.
Anyways, yeah. So anyways, this is look at the amount of pizza they got there.
I know that's a lot of pizza for two
That's a
guys.
lot. Yeah.
No, I think his family's there too, right?
His family's there. Yeah. So then,
Yeah,
so
the next
then,
picture is the whole group.
so then
Oh.
Stuart went to Oregon and with his grandkids and never told Bruce that he was like 2 or 3 hours away. And his excuse was he had the grandkids. I don't know. I don't understand what the grandkids had to do with Bruce driving up to meet them.
So I look at this picture of Stuart, and I don't see a guy old enough to have grandkids. That
I know,
that
eh?
flummoxes me.
Yeah.
Flummox. Does it flummox
The
you?
meat on that that pizza is probably from the moose that he ran over.
every week, whether he needs to or not, Stuart runs down a moose.
Hat tricks.
Yeah, he's going for the hat trick, the natural.
Hey, that steel on that you used to make, I bet you that would work really well on the front of Stuart's truck.
Well, he's got a
ship steel.
He's got a gigantic brush guard.
Brush guard, yeah. He's got a huge brush guard on the front of that thing.
Yeah,
he needs a battleship steel front bumper.
And and another moronic thing I said to him once, or not that long ago, a couple weeks ago, I said, well, I don't understand how you can't see them when they're standing in the middle of the road. And he goes, well, it's the nighttime. Oh, yeah, right.
Noisy, probably.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see them when you're coming along at 55 miles an hour, pulling a couple of 50-foot trailers.
Well, see, the thing you have to understand, Lionel, too, is up there, the trucks for UPS don't work like they do in the regular, like Canada and the United States, the rest of the U.S., they have to plug in, and so their headlights, when they get to a certain point, the plug just pops out of the wall, and then they lose their lights, and they're kind of on their own.
I thought the other day. I was coming home from the gym in the morning, and there was a FedEx, one of his competition. The trailer looked like it was going straight down the road, but the tractor was turned around, jackknife pointed back the other direction, and I'm sitting there just scratching my head, going, "How did that guy get in that situation?" Usually when they jackknife, the trailer's all sideways, and they try to keep the truck straight. But
right,
I don't know.
It's talent.
Talk about trying to wonder about something. I think there's something wrong with my earphones because I thought I heard Chris say on the way home from the gym.
3 days a week.
Yeah,
boot camp.
Somebody's dreaming in Technicolor.
Which week?
Yeah.
I'm not really one to talk, but I'm just saying.
You might want to stop going to McDonald's on the way home after the gym. Where were we? All right.
The Waffle House on the way home from the gym.
Yeah, Waffle. Yeah. Yeah, getting out of your car and going into the Waffle House is not considered a workout. Seriously. Okay. So Seth Gartner. I apologize, Seth. I probably mispronounced your name about 100 times. So I apologize. Stuart, if I've offended you in any way, at any point in any of these broadcasts, whatever they're called, I don't apologize.
Well, Stuart knows where you'll be sleeping in August.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. Yeah. All right. Eric Hansman, Modeler's Life. Fenton Wales shares his conversations of an Acura 36-foot boxcar, ventilated boxcar in his design, build, op, Hansman shop. I want to get Eric back on the show. Like, I got to make that a priority. I got to put him on the list. I can't believe how many of these we're doing. This is cool. Ken Anderson. It's been quite a while since I've posted on the good old AML. While listening, I finished up this section of scenery and one of 20 plus modules. Dime for scale.
Yeah,
Tree
that's
looks
nice.
That tree looks amazing.
It does. It's beautiful.
You can come over and do scenery on my layout anytime.
Yeah.
That's nice work.
And Ken, I apologize if everybody questions whether or not it's a dime.
No, that's definitely a dime.
That's a dime.
Tell.
Oh, okay.
That's a dime.
A dime for scale. You can't go wrong with a dime for scale. Andy Dorsch, he made another video about weathering freight cars. I'd like to see how. I wonder if he's got any Bragdon powders left. Any pan pastels and Bragdon powders on the same car. Andy, are you crazy? You're out of control, buddy.
That's like crossing the beams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do that. It would be the end of the world.
That's crazy, man. Chris Stilson. He's in the Air Force. Cleaning, working on the layout while listening to the podcast. First time working on it since Springfield. Chris, I want to have Chris on the air too, but he's always on the road with the Air Force.
That's a pretty interesting modification to a Bachmann 44-tonner.
Yeah.
So he's got a pantograph on it, and he's got overhead. Looks like he doesn't have all the overhead in, but it looks like he's got some of it in. That's really nice. Yeah, I'd love to do that, but man, having all those wires would just drive me bonkers.
All right.
I'd forget that the wire would be powered, and I'd probably shock myself all the time.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the guy who did his trolley layout using the 120 vacuum cleaner motors? And so he had to run 120 through his catenary.
No. Oh,
Yeah, some old school guy that was published in Model Railroader and so forth.
Wow. That's nasty.
jeez.
All right, we're going to do 3 more, and that'll be it. The next one is Chris Atkins. Dean Ferris hosted a couple back-to-back operating sessions yesterday on his fantastic N-scale Oregon joint line. And why would he be doing Oregon in Dallas? Oregon joint line, and cooked burgers for about 25 of us. BNSF was well represented, with about half the folks in this shot currently or previously employed by the swoosh. We had a great time. So that half the guys at this 25-man operating session were BNSF employees.
Yep, right there in front is Blair Cloister. I believe this is officially Blair Cloister month
It is.
as we record this. And then you were asking me about Mike Tendelman. I think his back. He's the one in blue with his back to me, and then I'm sitting across from him. I'm about the only person not employed by the BNSF. I think in this picture.
Mike, who I was asking you about?
Tendelman.
Tiedemann?
Yeah, Tiedemann.
But he lives on the East Coast.
No, he doesn't. He's from there. He works for BNSF here at the headquarters.
I got confused when I was listening to him.
Yeah, well, he's from that area up there. But he
okay.
lives here.
Oh, that's right. And he lives down there, but he comes back for the Greenberg show. Or the Springfield show.
Dean's the one in yellow there.
All right, cool. So he must have a big layout to have 25 guys operating.
Well, he did 2 sessions, so like 12 or 13 people per session.
All right. And when did he have the burgers? Like in between?
In between them, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a cool idea.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
You could use that idea for Cheese Rail.
Yeah.
You should come. You should come now. Shouldn't you be coming to the Kansas City convention now? Now that you're an NMRA member?
It's the week before. I probably should, but it's the week before I go on vacation, and that week is kind of sucked up by a bunch of other people. So
all right, I think they're expecting you. Just so you know. Peter Borchart's been watching the Grand Tour and see Aston Martin has released the new AML company car.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool show. I like that show too.
Yeah. One last one. Peter Borchardt. He joined the D and RGW Moffat group. So that's Mike Wachowski's group.
Yep.
So everybody go and join Mike Wachowski's Moffat Tunnel group. D and RGW Moffat group on Facebook. That's it. We're going to stop there. We chewed up a lot of stuff again. We are like, at this exact moment, we are less than 30 days behind. We have never published any of these or broadcast any of these, but we're...
So if I get 22... Go ahead.
If I get back from my voyage, we should be caught up, right?
Yeah, when you come back from your voyage, have been in while you're in your voyage, because I feel like I'll be needed. I'll be in Florida, near the ocean. Somehow I just have a bad feeling I need to be near the ocean.
I wonder if he could swim. I wonder if I could swim through the Panama Canal.
I don't think it matters. Just somehow I need to be in the lower 48. I need to be ready.
What's this button do?
You're probably right, Mike. It's probably gonna. That's probably, how big of a ship is that? Not a huge ship.
510 feet.
Yeah, it's 350 people, I think, if I remember right.
I thought I said either 350 or 275.
Well, then add 15 people on it.
Okay, all right.
15.
I think that's all there is 15 people.
Really?
On the Tiger Cruise.
That's the whole crew is 15 people?
No, that's
the guests.
That's the
guests. Oh,
guests.
the guests. Oh. Are you gonna have Are you gonna have the master suite or something?
I think we get a stateroom or something. I don't.
Wow.
That was the first question I asked my son, because he's communicating with his wife, and I said, "Do we have to hot bunk?"
Hot bunk.
Yeah. And I said, I wasn't thrilled about that, thinking about that, but
And what
and for people who don't know about hot bunking, it's when you have a crew on a ship and they rotate 12 hours. So the one guy is sleeping and one guy is working, and then when they rotate, the guy that's sleeping wakes up, takes his sheets off, and the guy that comes in puts his sheets on and goes to sleep.
Wow.
And that's called hot bunking. Yeah, submarines do that.
Yeah.
That would keep me out of the Navy.
We stayed on the Lexington in January, and even though we weren't hot bunking, the little berths were not real comfortable. They're kind of like sleeping in a file cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the Lexington.
Yeah, we did a Boy Scout camp out on the Lexington and
Oh,
Corpus
really?
Christi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
it was
fun.
a lot of fun, but the sleeping accommodations were a little rough.
No, I just had a great idea. This is long past Kansas City, but I just had a great idea. This is a great idea because I know you were concerned about the cost, even though we'd saved like $1 bazillion having our own place.
Okay.
Instead of having 3 guys there, we could have 6. No, we could have 5 because
Yeah,
I'm not hot
pass.
bunking with anybody.
You're not sharing a room. Oh, we're gonna hot bunk.
So does that mean that Peter and Gordy get to come over if things don't work out in
No.
their neighborhood?
No, no, they're stuck.
They got an extra room now.
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
a
do they
message
have an
that
extra room
they've
now?
got some reason they've suddenly, I don't know what they did. Did they go in and put a divider in one of the rooms to make it an extra room or what? But how do you magically get an extra room in
Well, I think
They
the
hung
house.
a sheet.
I think the house
They
is.
hung a sheet.
Yeah, I think the house is under construction or something.
They
Well,
turned
it
the
was.
bathroom into an extra room.
It was no, I think it was under construction. It was in the middle of renovations, which is why it was so cheap. And that was one of the reasons why it was so cheap. The other reason is it's a cardboard box under a bridge, but that's neither here nor there.
It's got wallpaper on the inside of the
Yeah,
box.
exactly.
Oh.
All right, let's give out the email address. Okay. You know what? Let's draw short. We'll draw short straws for it. We'll see who knows the answer to this question. If you're 64 years old and you're already water soaked because you've lived in Oregon for 5 years, waterlogged, how long can you tread water?
Well, if you want to reach us by email, our email address is modeler'slife. That's modelers with 1 L like railroad, not 2 L's like Kelly, at gmail.com.
Yeah, gmail.com. That's exactly it.
That's it.
Okay, here's something we should probably discuss for Bruce's benefit. Like, where is it you're supposed to punch a shark? Aren't you supposed to punch a shark in the nose or something?
Jeez.
Like, I know if you're alligator hunting, there's a certain place where you got to shoot the alligator. Do you just punch the shark anywhere? Do you try to give him is there a particular place where you got to punch the shark?
I don't know. I thought Shark Week they said it was the nose is the most sensitive
Okay.
for the front.
So, does that mean you piss the shark off the most if you
Well,
punch the nose?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and imagine that'll be one of his last thoughts. Yeah, when I was doing Viewer Vacation, that's cool. We're doing Viewer Post Vacation Cruise just as you're about to go on a cruise.
A cruise.
Bruce, I'm going to be very disappointed if I don't at least hear a story about you asking to shoot the 5-inch gun.
Oh, I'll try it. I'll even say, hey, can I? What am I? Well, one of the questions I want to ask is if they sound general quarters, where do I go? and then say to them, I'd like to help out if I can.
Yeah. I'd go to the bathroom if you.
Okay.
Quarters.
Okay.
Go to the bathroom and wait there.
Yeah.
It's on the ship. It's go to the head.
Yeah. Well, for the 15 people, it's a bathroom.
Okay, I just did a spit take when you said you'd like to help out. What do you? There's going to be Bruce in his Walter safety vest. You're under attack. And Bruce is going to be going, You're not doing that right. Bruce, you want to help out.
I have insurance with the National Model Railroad Association. I'm
Yeah.
covered. I got liability insurance. Yeah, really.
Something tells me the Navy is self-insured.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe the Navy has their own insurance.
They will after I get on board.
You want to help out. Yeah. That's what they're
They'll be
looking
picking barnacles off the inside of the hull by the time he's done.
Yeah, that's what that's for sure. When they're under attack, that's what they're looking for. Is the 64-year-old model railroader? Is there a 64-year-old model railroader on board? Do we have a model? Is there a model railroader on board?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, we got what do we got? We got a website, amodeler'slife.com. Go there. You can go to our Patreon page. I'm supposed to tell everybody about our Patreon page and our Facebook page. So there's links for it right there. So you can just go there. Last question is, Mike, Shane keeps telling me you guys are trying to do a show. How's it going?
Slow, but
Okay.
we're making some progress. We've actually were able to do a recording, and I haven't heard anything back, so I figure we'll probably have to do it over.
Do it on the
Not
spot.
because I sounded bad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, you sound great. You sounded good tonight. All right, let's say goodnight. Say goodnight, boys. Oh, yeah, what do we
Good
need?
night,
We
boys.
need some sort of a Navy send-off.
How about the village peoples in the Navy?
Yeah,
Navy,
yeah.
there you go.
I'm going to look for the worst rendition I can find of in the Navy.
All right.
That
What
would
is-
pretty much be it.
What do you say? What do you say when you get off a ship? Maybe I can help.
You have two choices. You could do the village people in the Navy, or you can do what's Eve of Destruction.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. What did
Or
you?
you could get the theme song to McHale's Navy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be good.
yeah
Gilligan's Island.
maybe I can help. Do we have a model
Gilligan's
railroader on
Island is
board?
good.
Woot. Do we have a model railroader on board?
Yeah. Let me look at that. Maybe the U92 is not working properly. Do you have the JMR on JRI?
It's another Lincoln Homer. Oh, we forgot to get Ralph on again.